Oh well, I can't really do much about it. Let's bring out my mace and go to town. Oh, he sliced me? Did he slice me, or was that an arrow? I'm actually not sure. Oh, thank you. The Crusade are going to be a very, very big thorn in my side, specifically because I am playing without a shield. Hello and welcome back to our Duelist adventures and our constant struggle to level up leadership. Yeah, alright, so I figured out a couple of things about the whole leveling process on leadership itself. One, you can level up leadership by recruiting units. I've seen that thanks to the mod that gives me the display and, you know, allows me to see what kind of experience gain I get. And, yeah, recruiting units does do that. It gives you 1 experience every single unit you recruit. So as you can see right here, I actually do now have 17 leadership instead of 16, because as you can see, we did just gain a little bit there. Now, in previous versions of Bannerlord, I have been able to level up leadership by having very high morale, and I was actually hoping that that would be the same here. I think someone also said in the comments that the quartermaster assignment might actually level up leadership. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to try it out. So we're going to make Najun the scout, and we're going to, not surgeon, quartermaster. There we go. So we're going to make ourselves the quartermaster for the moment. Yeah, it is reducing my party capacity by a small margin, which will make things a little bit uncomfortable for us, but hopefully we will be able to enter a battle with Marcus in just a second. This is a guy that I've been wanting to attack for quite some time. I've actually been chasing him across the map. Okay, apparently we are now joining with Tak of the Beni Zilal. Not a big fan. Thank you. Oh well, never mind. As you could no doubt tell, my scouting levels have now ceased, because I don't know whether you could tell beforehand, as we were running around on the world map, scouting was leveling up at an extremely fast pace. And I was thinking to myself, wow, this is pretty good, you know? But obviously, now that we are tagged as a quartermaster, that is a little bit different. Now, to level up quartermaster, you usually need to have unique pieces of food. So you need to have a lot of different foods, and you need to do other things. I actually don't know how to level up steward apart from having all kinds of different foodstuffs in your inventory, which is a bit strange because I have leveled up steward before and actually been very successful at getting it to a high level. Some of my other characters have had steward skill at about 120, maybe 140 in some cases, and it was reasonably quick for me to do that. So very strange that we haven't really been able to get any kind of result on that at the moment. Okay, here we go. This guy is obviously being a bit of a pain. Now, these guys are new, you see. That was the main reason why I wanted to actually fight Marcus, because he is in command of new units that I don't think we've seen before. Or if we have seen them, then he has a random smattering of different kinds. And I thought it would be quite fun to see exactly what's going on here. As you can tell, he seems to have mostly similar units to ourselves. In other words, he has Imperials and he has Azarai, and I'm not entirely sure why that is, because he is part of the Desert Cult, as far as I'm aware, or Desert Slavers, or Southern Slavers, or one of those guys. And I was thinking, oh, okay, well, let's do something about that. And unfortunately, we now have a javelin in our right arm, which is probably the reason why I wasn't that good at fighting in this particular fight. Because, well, he's been injured a little bit, hasn't he? Alright, so let's move on. Nothing really much to report here. He is going to be taken prisoner by this guy. Not a big fan of that. But oh well. We are going to increase our relation with the guy a little bit, I suppose, which is somewhat decent, I guess. But yes, it's far and away not what I wanted. But let's just see what happens here. Okay, so we do have... Wow. We actually have a better helmet here. But I'm not... You know, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to be wearing heavy armor. As I've said before, I am really not aiming to wear heavy armor. I think this is pretty much the heaviest I'm willing to go to, and 12.7 weight is already way too much than I actually wanted to go for. I originally wanted to go for around 8, maybe 9 weight, but I kind of compromised a little bit because obviously using a shield, or not using a shield in this case, does limit my options quite significantly. So we're just going to be taking the helmet anyway, because we might be able to sell it somewhere or trade it for something relatively good. Maybe a bunch of horses or something like that. And now we are going to have a bunch of troops start deserting because of that. So what's actually... yeah, did you see Steward? Steward is actually working. 20 experience. Really? Just 20? Well, I wasn't really too pleased about that. Well, we don't even have any learning rate on this, but yeah, Steward skill seems to be the only thing it levels up. I was willing to give it a go because I know that person that suggested going to Quartermaster, I think also said that they were getting a bit mixed up. But I wanted to try it, you know, just in case, because you never know. Maybe it is going to do that, or maybe they have changed it in such a way so that it actually does make a difference. But personally, I feel like Scout is probably going to be the way to go at the moment, because as you can see, it just gives you constant experience. So if you want to level up really, really fast, highly recommended to spend some focus points at least into scouting skill, because now you're going to get this amazingness. Obviously, you may not have this mod installed, which is absolutely understandable because some people don't like the spam. Personally, I really like seeing my progress, and I like seeing what actually gives me a good amount of XP, because me just running around here, amazingly enough, because I have been attempting to try and recruit more units, by the way. Oh, look at this guy. Okay, yeah, he means a suitable amount of business, and I do not want to get involved with him, thank you very much. So I will be just making my way around him, very much so. So let's recruit. As you can see, there you go. I gain 1 leadership each unit, which is, it is so sad. It really is so incredibly sad. Because you think to yourself, oh, look at that, you know, I might be able to level up my leadership skill a little bit here and there, and then you go and you try to, yeah, you try to get it leveled up and it's just not going to work. So in this episode, I'm probably going to become a vassal. Yes, I know. I didn't really want to do that, all things considered. The Northern Empire is declaring war on the Botanians. Alright, well, that's up to them, of course, but we're going to be doing battle against these guys. They are from the Company of the Boar. Okay, well, that's good to know. Anyway, we're just going to be fighting them. I'm not even going to look at their army composition. I don't care. I don't care what kind of units they have. We're going to murder them no matter what. And those are some famous last words from me right there, most likely, because, you know, whenever I have overwhelming confidence, even if in the back of my mind I think to myself, oh, well, we might not be able to, you know, stay alive in this particular battle because of XYZ, you know, certain unit on the enemy side that may pose a rather significant threat. Well, in this case, it generally tends to curse me quite a bit. We've got to be a bit careful of the enemy units. They do have, oh, they have one-handed, ah, yes, if he just had a spear, that would have been super easy for me to block. But as he had a one-handed, I have no idea. I'm really bad at blocking mounted units when they're using one-handeds or two-handeds. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually just going to tell my infantry to charge because I don't have a shield. I kind of need my infantry to give me a little bit of... Wait a minute. Where you running? Where you running, infantry? Are you seriously running? Oh no, they're running behind me to go and try and kill the cavalry. That is a terrible, terrible idea. Oh well, I can't really do much about it. Let's bring out my mace and go to town. Oh, he sliced me? Did he slice me, or was that an arrow? I'm actually not sure. Oh, thank you. I was kind of worried there for a second. I was thinking to myself, okay, let me just concentrate real quick because I've got to concentrate on which way he's going to attack. He has a mace as well, so we know how fast they can be in their own attack speeds. And we ended up losing a huge amount of Imperial recruits, but that is really not that big a deal because we do have quite a few of them, I think, at least. At least I hope so. And otherwise, we can, of course, take some more tier 4 units. I think this is primarily going to be the main way that I'm even going to be gaining units at this point. Veteran Manhunters, let's take some of those because those guys are actually going to be somewhat significant in their contribution to us even getting prisoners in the end because they come equipped with blunt weapons for the most part, I believe. So that's going to be pretty fun. I think what we're going to do is we're going to level up a couple of these Imperials into archers as well. And we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, let's have a look at the loot. Anything really fantastic here? No, there's just a crossbow, nothing really of note, but I will be taking all of it, of course. And then we'll be heading on over to Poros. And then I'm thinking we're probably going to join the Southern Empire at this point. Because I'm not sure whether the Aserai are at war against anyone, and I'm not entirely sure whether I want to travel all the way down there just to be disappointed, because they might very well still be at peace with everyone. Maybe I can actually find that out, though, because let's have a look here. Oh, I can't use the cursor keys? Okay, well, let's just go to the Aserai here. Okay, so, yeah, it will actually show us here. So I don't need to go to the diplomacy screen, so that's actually good. Anyway, as you can see, they don't seem to be at war against anyone. Yeah, they don't seem to be at war against anyone at all. Not one of the main factions, that is. And so, as a result, it would be basically a waste of time for me to do something there. So, what about the Southern Empire? The Southern Empire is probably... What? Not Southern? Empire? No? Okay, none of these want to come up. Okay, so Southern Empire. Okay, they're at war against the Crusade. Do we want to fight the Crusade? Yes, I think should we? I mean, you can see here the Southern Empire is not even doing that badly. They seem to be fighting quite decently, to be honest. Botania seems to be doing reasonably well too, but of course, in the end, I don't want to stay as a vassal. I do want to create my own faction. I did say that I'd attempt to do that, but unfortunately, due to the reason that I can't create an army. Oh yeah, someone actually did mention a mod that would allow me to create my own army as a mercenary, but unfortunately, due to limited time today, I haven't been able to do that. Wait a minute, did I just... I gained 14 leadership. Where from? I really wish this mod would tell me, because I have no idea. I was just moving from point A to point B. I wasn't really doing anything specific, so it's kind of a bit strange. Did I gain some more there? No, that's athletics. I mean, that's the point. It might very well be that some of the time the morale actually does come into effect and actually does help me out a little bit, but most of the time it probably doesn't. Alright, let's take a look here. Whoa, okay, yeah. These parties are really good, so it's unlikely that I'll be doing anything against them for the moment, and the Western Empire also has a pretty significant amount of people. So, I suppose, what do you think? Shall we join the Southern Empire? I think that's probably going to be our best bet at the moment. Mainly opportunistically. We're not actually going to be staying with them for the foreseeable future. We're just going to be joining them to level up my leadership skill. That's pretty much it. And also to participate in weakening the Crusade a little bit as well, because weakening the Crusade is a very important goal that I personally feel like I should have targeted much earlier on in the series, but they are very, well, let's just say they are very hard to dislodge for a variety of reasons. Anyway, Amitatis has actually just been taken, so I'm going to be heading over there very fast so that I can just sell a lot of my food. I'm not going to sell all of it, but I'm going to sell a lot of it. Anyway, there's actually a vassal here that I'd like to do battle with if at all possible. Am I faster than him? Look at it, look at it. He's on a horse and I'm on foot, and he's slower than me. That's fantastic. I love it. All right, let's do this. Alright, here we go. Tactics skill, do your thing. We're gaining huge amounts of experience just from our archers firing away here. And Najun is also on horseback and firing away with his bow as well. As you can see here, he is. And I think he's actually pretty good at it. I've seen him get a couple of kills in the past, and even in this particular battle, he's been able to acquire at least one. So I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Anyway, let's switch to my mace. I think someone called it a rolling pin in the comments, and that's true. It does look like that. It absolutely does. Oh dear. It's kind of... Oh no. It's making me... Oh, it's making me lose concentration now. Ah, okay, wait a minute, wait a minute. I think we're fine. Basically, all I have to do is angle these guys in such a way. Oh, nice, we leveled up. Fantastic. But yeah, angle those guys in such a way so that our archers can fire into their backs where their shields are not, of course. So that is fantastic. There we go, done. All right, 4.3 renown. We do need a huge amount of morale. Well, yes, morale, but we need a huge amount of renown as well to be able to level up into the next clan tier. So hopefully we're going to be able to do that. I will be taking these recruits because I am attempting to get people anyway, so might as well rescue them. Or shall we say take them prisoner and then coerce them to join us, I guess. I do have a couple of war horses, but I think I'm going to need to do a little bit more to get some extras. So I'm thinking I'll probably at some point in the future go down to Azerai territory because they do tend to have pretty good tasks that will allow you to gain a number of war horses, and I'll just run off with them basically. I'll just take the task and then just run off with them because war horses are quite rare to come across. At least I think they're quite rare, and it would be pretty cool to gain some for free at the very least. Okay, so Caladog made peace. Oh, okay, well that's pretty cool. It's cool that they actually give you a massive message in the middle of the screen now because they didn't do that before. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, there's Rogea. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. This is great timing. All right, so I'm going to go over here and we are going to leave the kingdom. Boom. Ended the mercenary contract, of course. And we're now going to be speaking to Rogea. Talk to the army leader. Hello there. And I would like to enter your service. Yes, my lady, I would pledge allegiance to you and be counted among your loyal followers. And she says you are known as a brave warrior and a fine leader of men. Yes, she hasn't seen the rolling pin yet. But as soon as she sees that, she'll be like, oh no. A warrior with a rolling pin. What are you? A warrior chef of some kind? Yes, that's probably the case. Anyway, I am ready. Let's do it. Alright, fantastic. So now we have made peace with the southern slavers again, which is rather amusing. And otherwise, there we are. Alright, so I'm not actually, you know what? Let me just ask her about Nerette's folly because there's a... There we go. Can you tell me about this? There we go. Okay, fantastic. Because we are going to need to do that eventually, but it's something that I have tried to put off because I really don't like it. I personally feel like this is a pretty awful way to start the game, especially when you've played through the story beforehand in a previous save, in a previous playthrough. So maybe they'll be adding in an option that allows you to skip it or something like that in the future. That would be quite nice. But anyway, we now have 19 leadership. I'm actually not sure how that was even possible, but apparently we do. But now we are a vassal. It should be much easier to level it up. So I'm going to be going for another point in scouting, I guess, because scouting has been very good at giving us extra focus points, and I might as well. And otherwise... what can we do now? We need to create a new party, so... we're at war against the Crusade, aren't we? I think I saw a couple... Aha! Yes, exactly. I did see a couple of vassals off to the side here, and hopefully we're going to be able to attack them. Here we go. Fantastic. Okay, so this is actually really nice because we are now a vassal, and it is going to make things very, very good for us indeed, because every single little bit of influence we get, thanks to not being a mercenary any further, is going to be saved, with the exception of obviously having a couple of policies within the kingdom itself that may give us a couple of negatives to that effect, but hopefully a couple of positives as well, so that it will end up either balancing out to break even or giving us a decent amount in the long run. So anyway, we'll see what we can do. I'm going to try and use my sword against these guys. Well, unfortunately, that's not really going to work out too well for us. Let's get my archers onto the hill here. Let's move my infantry into a decent position. Hopefully they won't try to split up again and try to kill the enemy cavalry. Oh, you're dead. That was fast. Oh, that was also relatively fast, wasn't it? Okay, so, yeah. Hopefully my archers will now fire at will as much as they possibly can, because let's face it, the enemy, in my opinion, is really not very good. Oh, I need to switch to my rolling pin. You see how much damage this does in comparison to the sword. Did you see that? As soon as I used my sword, I was doing about 11 to 12 damage every single swing against that heavily armored unit, and as soon as I switched to my blunt weapon, which obviously is a high penetration weapon, it has exponential damage increase, and I was able to hit for 30 to 80 damage. So it really makes a huge difference. Unfortunately, I couldn't really get into any additional battling there. I really hoped that we'd be able to get into more of a significant fight, but never mind. That's a decent amount of influence right there, even if we want to call for some random, some random vassal to join us, then we can do that. But I'm going to go to a nearby town so that I'll be able to gain a companion of some kind. We're going to be taking all of the new units that I don't recognize, because they're going to be, in my opinion, quite cool to see them level up and what they actually become and everything. I'm not going to be taking these guys, I don't think. Yeah, as you can see, they're not particularly good. The Manhunters on the other side are very good in my opinion, but these ones are kind of cheap, easy to level up units. So that's an option, but it's definitely not something that I'm going to be concentrating on right now. And I have 3 extra spaces, so I suppose I'll just take the tier 4 Imperial units. There we go. All right, fantastic. And what do we have here? Ooh. No, I think you can kind of see why I would not use this. However, it does have 70 length, which is definitely a strong point for it. I might, you know what? I might actually end up using this, because I think we've got a pretty fast weapon as it is. And because we have decent one-handed weapon proficiency, not many people are going to be able to beat us off the bat. But that's even more of a reason to have an extremely fast attack speed, because then it's going to be even less likely for anyone to beat us. So I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm just going to stay with the one that we currently have. Let's see. This is what he's currently using. That's what he's currently using. Wait a minute. Yep, that's better for him. There we go. Nice. And we'll just take all of that. There we go. All right, so that's not too bad. All right, so now that we are a vassal, let's go into Lycaron. Lycaron is the closest town, so let's go down there. We might even come across another vassal who may be attempting to raid some villages or something along those lines. Doesn't seem like it. I did see someone. Oh, hello, Catherine. Ah, you're part of the Harbingers of Wrath. No doubt you're extremely fast. Yes, you're moving at 6.1, so I will let you go on your merry way then. Alright, so let's take a look here. Alright, this guy has... Oh, I can't see because of... There we go. He's an archer. Okay. This guy's got some pretty decent skills. Okay, this guy's decent enough, but no athletic skill. I mean, I'm not entirely sure why some people don't have any athletics. It doesn't really make much sense. Alright, so we're going to take this guy, I guess. So we're just going to have a little bit of a quick talk. Let's skip to that. There we go. And we'll have him join us. And then what we will do is we'll create a party. I haven't done this in quite a long time, by the way, creating a party out of our clan members. So we're just going to create one like so. Then we're going to go to the kingdom screen, and we're going to create an army. And, Oh yeah, he needs to have units, doesn't he? I forgot about that. My bad. My bad. Alright, let me inspect your troops real quick. Okay, so... I don't really want to give him anything. That was the main reason why I didn't give him anything to begin with. So, I guess what I'll do is I'll just give him a whole bunch of recruits. That's not something that I really want to do, because that is kind of... kind of underhanded, I guess, a little bit. 18. No, he doesn't have enough, does he? He really doesn't have enough. Okay, well, let's just give him a bunch of recruits, and then we'll give him 5 master archers. We'll give him a couple of these guys. He has 27 now. That should be... Is that enough, actually? Let's give him a couple of these. I just don't want to give him a whole bunch of units that he's going to waste. Because, let's face it, the AI is not exactly smart about stuff. But maybe if he's with me and in my army, he won't actually fail super hardcore. So we'll see. There we go. He's actually going to be joining us for free. Thank you for that tip, by the way. And now we have exactly the same amount. So hopefully leadership is now going to start leveling up. Yes, indeed it is. Great. Whew. That was a whole big rigmarole, wasn't it? You really, in my opinion, should be able to create armies as a mercenary. And I believe that is what someone mentioned in the comments as I was talking about earlier. There is a mod out there that will enable you to create armies as a mercenary. And then, of course, be able to, you know, earn leadership that way. Because obviously if leadership is not available through the other means, in other words, getting morale up, then it must be available in other ways. So, not enough influence. Yes, I have not enough influence for anything, actually, unfortunately, but oh well, never mind. Well, what do we have here? It seems like we have a bit of a Oh. Well, I actually wanted to go in and help them out in this siege, because I thought that a castle was kind of a good place to start, because, let's face it, I don't have a shield, so kind of makes sense for me to start a little bit smaller than going in for a town. But, yeah, it seems like they were able to take that before I even got close, which is... somewhat unfortunate, but can't really do much about it now, can I? So I guess we'll just have to head onward and see where else we can help out. But the Southern Empire does seem to be doing a pretty good job of taking back and indeed fighting back against the Crusade quite a bit. So I don't think we really need to worry too much about them. So let's just move on with these two, because we have relatively similar army sizes. Haha, hello there. Yeah, these guys are not going to give this to me in a million years. These fellows will never give me any of these fiefs, which is actually kind of sad, because it would be cool to have a castle so early on. But, well, you know, they probably know I'm trying to be a bit opportunistic here. They probably have a feeling that I'm going to be leaving them at the best possible opportunity. Anyway, we're going to be fighting here against... Ecracia, by the looks of things, and we'll see whether we can win. What does she even have? Okay. Yes. If you saw that very quick little blurb or tooltip or whatever pop up, then you'll know that they have literal 50 recruits in their army, so this should be a very easy victory for us, but definitely something that needs to be done. Get her off the battle map and basically just try to prevent her from gaining any additional strength. That's the main issue here. You know, any vassal that can gain a huge amount of recruits in such a small amount of time is going to very easily be able to... Oh, I really hoped that I'd be able to do a nice jump and slash there, but no such luck. The Crusade are going to be a very, very big thorn in my side, specifically because I am playing without a shield. And playing without a shield against horse archers is probably my nightmare. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's tell our archers to go into a loose formation. I'm going to go for my little mace right here, my little rolling pin. Oh, smack him around. Oh, that was nice. Go for the old 1-2 as well. I've got to be very careful here too. And that's the funny thing. I can fight really close up now as well, thanks to it being such a short weapon. So I can literally get right up into their hitbox, and they can't really do much because they have such long weapons. That's the point. You know, even if they have a regular sized sword, it is still going to give them a disadvantage in comparison to this weapon. It really makes a huge difference. I'm actually very surprised because you wouldn't think, as I get run down by that horse, you wouldn't think that a weapon like this would actually be effective. But the knife in that tournament a couple of episodes ago, that gave me a completely eye-opening experience and really makes a huge difference to my overall outlook and perspective on things, which is really quite amazing. Anyway, we're just going to let every single vassal go because you never know when you're going to be able to persuade them to join you at some point in the future, potentially. Otherwise, we're still going to be looking out for tier 4 units. I'm not going to be taking any Crusade units. That's where I'm going to draw the line. If I can get Imperials, then good. If I can get Azurai, then good. But otherwise, that's it. And do we have anything else? Ooh, now that's nice. All right. Yeah, that's some very nice horse armor right there. I'm going to be giving that to Najun. I think he finally deserves to have a good piece of horse armor, and the horse is just absolutely fine and dandy. Really, really good right there. Really, really good. And I know that I didn't take the loot. I wasn't actually wanting to take the loot because I am, as you can see, not actually carrying cargo within capacity. I'm slightly slowing down as a result of it. So I have to be a bit careful, especially when I'm in enemy territory, and I already took the most expensive item from the inventory of our opponent. And that's all I really wanted to do. So anyway, we now have 100. Look at this. We now have 100 in this, and we have 26 in leadership. So we have 100 in athletics. Let's have a look. Oh, this is absolutely perfect. This is the kind of perk that I'm looking for. These are the kinds of perks that really make me extremely happy that we are a duelist at the moment, because just look at this. When no shields and ranged weapons are wielded, gain 10% faster movement speed. Wow. I hope this is working, actually. I think athletics is working 90% or 95% or something. So maybe even 100% actually. So I'm hopeful that it is, because 10% faster movement speed. I can't even wait to get into the next battle now. And now here we go. This is what I'm talking about right here. Increases the recruit level of units of the same culture with you from NPCs. In other words, we are Azurai. So when we go down to Azurai to get some more Azurai units and so on, we will be able to increase the level of recruitment quality that we'll be able to do. And plus 15 XP per day to the party is actually really good. So I'm going to be taking combat tips. Even though Raise the Meek is actually very good for leveling up recruits, because obviously it gives you 30 experience per day, which is double the other one. I personally value the recruit level of units being increased by a pretty significant margin, so I'm happy to take the other one. Anyway, I think that's actually going to be it for this episode. If you'd like to like the video, then that would be greatly appreciated. And otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.